Before we get underway, yes, this is my custom Seattle Kraken NHL 20 GM mode. I did do a brand new created team, and indeed started up an expansion draft. After a few years of simulating, a few years of being bad, a few years of getting some late elite prospects in the 6th and 7th rounds, I was able to build the team up to where we have this roster that you're looking at right now. It's pretty stacked, I will say, but I did make a mistake when I made this team, because when I made the away jerseys, I accidentally forgot to include the logo, so if I used an away jersey for any of the Seattle gameplays, the big S wouldn't actually be there on the front. And because I already made the GM mode save with the team, I can't redo it because I would have to redo the entire GM mode, so that would be a big pain in the behind. So I think going further for Seattle Kraken gameplay, we're just going to go with the home jerseys only because those are actually done properly to the way that I would like. Obviously, the real Seattle Kraken jerseys, which you're looking at right now, those aren't in the game. EA Sports, it's not in the game because they're brand new designs and they're just completely original from anything we've seen in the past. The away jerseys, though, honestly look pretty good too. This is what it would have looked like if I made them in NHL 20 with the big S, but of course I did forget to put that, so what we have in NHL 20 is the closest that I possibly could have gotten to what Seattle's jerseys are at the moment, but I'm making this video because I've stumbled across some very, very nice looking jersey concepts. And yes, I know, what the heck, the new jersey was revealed. Why are people making jersey concepts? Well, because you can never stop the bounds of creativity, and also, expansion teams could use alternate jerseys. We're still waiting on VGK to get theirs, but because the Seattle Kraken have a very awesome color scheme and a really good set of logos, it hasn't stopped anybody from making some really good and creative mock jersey concepts. Let's go over onto here on Athletic Knit on Twitter and take a look at what they posted of 3 different Seattle Kraken alternate concepts. Option number 1 has the Seattle Kraken word mark in the middle with a red jersey on the outside, the big anchors on the shoulders, and a really nice set of individual barcode-like stripes. Now, among the 3 that they posted, I honestly like this one the least, but this is still pretty nice looking in my opinion. The word mark honestly doesn't really pop as much as I would like it to. Maybe if they added an outline of the dark blue around the word mark, it would actually pop a lot more. This obviously looks really nice to the eye, but the other 2 are also really good as well. Let's go over to option number 2 on this same tweet. It has the same Seattle Kraken logo with a light blue base instead. The dark blue goes over onto the shoulders and the top of the arms, and then there's a stripe pattern. This stripe pattern between the 3 different blues pays homage to the actual Seattle team from 100 years ago. Those teams had stripes going down the arms and the torso, and it was actually an alternate between the beige, the green, and red. And of course, we do know the historical significance of this team. Not only were the Seattle Metropolitans actually kind of relevant, but they were the first American team to ever win the Stanley Cup. Before the original 6, before the Boston Bruins, before the New York Rangers, Seattle was actually the first. So this jersey concept, number 2 on this tweet, pays homage to that old team with the stripes on the arms. And number 3 actually has a little bit of the original jersey vibes, but with just a little bit of a different color scheme. Instead of having a dark blue base, it is a different shade of blue. It's more of the mid-tier blue. The dark blue carries over onto the sleeves, and there's actually a white stripe plastered just underneath the elbows. Furthermore, that white is carried on onto the numbers, because the numbers, which are dark blue in its entirety, have outlined in white. This is different from the original jersey because the original jersey is outlined in that lighter blue, and the numbers themselves are actually in the lighter blue too. So of course, if you swap all the colors, things look really interesting, and honestly, out of these 3 from Athletic Knit's tweet, I personally like option 2 the most. It's the one furthermost on the left in this image, but all 3 of these look very nice. We also have a user on Twitter named Jay Tasca, Jeff, who has a Stormtrooper helmet as his profile picture. He had a similar mock concept to the one that we talked about with the stripes, but he did a different logo instead. This jersey has a combination of the anchor and the S combined into one to make a main logo. it certainly looks really cool. It looks more like the tentacle of the Kraken is wrapping around the anchor there with the red eye popping in and catching your attention. Not to mention the fact that the anchor has the Seattle Space Needle at the very top, which is a very welcomed addition too. It has the same kind of stripes going on the sleeves, and if you wanted what this jersey would look like with the normal logo, this is what it would look like over here. Looks very similar to what we talked about earlier, and the logo itself that Jeff made here. Oh man, this looks so slick. Sure, it's kind of busy. I will admit it's not the most easy to digest at first. You kind of have to look for the details to really spot how good it is. But for just taking two different logos and putting them together, this looks really, really nice. And it certainly could pass off as something that probably would be used by some as a main jersey if given the choice. He also does attach the Seattle Metropolitans jersey too, so you can see the inspiration of what he got the stripes from. Then we have ourselves Eric Dunkel Designs on Twitter, who did a very different kind of jersey for these concepts as well. You're taking a look at it right here. The home jersey on the left kind of borrows from the original jersey design. The stripes on the sleeves, the logo, and the anchors on the side. But instead of having just a flat dark blue base, what he did was he did a gradient of the dark blue going up into the light blue. So it kind of seems like you're in the ocean, it's dark, it's deep. You know, as you go further down in the ocean, it gets darker because less sunlight can reach those parts. And it kind of looks like, you know, just going up towards the sunlight. Maybe if you added some bubbles here, things would look really more aquatic, and the away jersey that he has is kind of similar to what the original jersey actually is as well. Obviously, though, I'm showing this off for a reason. The design on the left just looks so nice. In my opinion, I would love to have a gradient-style jersey. We haven't seen too many of those in the NHL. We saw the Vancouver one that was kind of okay, and then I think LA had one as well, which... I'm not too sure about that. I think Pittsburgh might have had one too. Again, not too sure about that. My jersey history is kind of lacking compared to some of you out there. But, man, that gradient on the left looks so, so nice. But if you wanted to talk about the looking of the ocean without actually going into a gradient, we have ourselves this one that I found too, posted by dragons_quest. This one is just a flat break between the colors, but there's more of a wave on the bottom of the jersey and as well on the elbows. It rotates more between the three different shades of blue, and it also has that same jersey logo of the S and the anchor overlapped on top of each other. But this one also looks pretty good too. Sure, the contrast is a little bit more heavy, but having that wave at the bottom really kind of sells it that this is a ocean-themed, Kraken, octopus kind of jersey design. I certainly like this one too. In my personal opinion, though, I like the gradient a little bit more. That's probably the favorite out of all the ones that we've talked about here on this YouTube video so far. But we also have a few more that have also been posted elsewhere, like on Bar Down's article. They posted an Instagram post with 4 different jersey designs right here. This one, the main one, actually has a similar color scheme to the normal one. It's just that there is more of a tentacle going across the sleeves over there. The away has the same kind of format too. Not to mention the third one that they posted on this Instagram post. Oh man, this one looks so interesting. They took the entire logo of the S and the anchor on top of each other, and they put everything underneath that darker blue color, while they highlighted the inside with that lighter blue that goes across the rest of the jersey. There's a very, very nice dampening effect going on here, and the fact that the darker parts of the jersey, which is the underneath, is highlighted by that red wave, I really like how that looks as well. And furthermore, just to wrap everything up with Seattle, the fourth one on this image kinda has everything that you want. It's the colors, it's the S, it's the Seattle, it's the Metropolitans, designed to a T. This one looks really nice. If they use this as a throwback, maybe at a Heritage Classic one day, this thing honestly would look really, really nice. And of course, they do give the credits to as well. This is all from Z89 Design. The tweets were posted here on Twitter, but of course, Bar Down, they're the ones who took this and put it onto Instagram, which is why we're looking at it here today. So these are a few very interesting Seattle Kraken jersey concepts. Obviously, none of these are going to be like the alternates, because that's just how concepts work. People create these and people post them online. They're very awesome to see, and if any of these actually resembled what we would get with the actual Seattle Kraken alternates, when that time does come, then man, I'm gonna get really, really itchy to buy a new jersey because those designs look awesome. So I'll leave a link in the description to all of the stuff that we talked about here, the tweets of all the individual jersey designs and the bar down article too. So talk to me in the comments what you think about these Seattle Kraken jersey concepts. I hope you enjoyed this video. So that's 99, and bye.